Hello everyone. Today we will be reviewing... Holy crap, I said it again. Anyway, I'll figure that out after, maybe. Jeez, where the hell did I put it? Oh, it's behind me. Okay. Today we are going to review the movie Wind River, starring Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen. It was kind of nice to see them do something outside of the Avengers because I thought they had really good chemistry. I know this movie came out a few years ago, so I believe there might have even been an Avengers movie around that time period. I can't remember when all of them came out, but yeah, there might have been one around that time period anyway, or maybe the Avengers movies were over by then. I can't really remember. Oh no, I guess not, because Avengers Endgame, yes, and Infinity War were around the same time period anyway. But yeah, I thought they had really good chemistry in those films, so it was nice to see them do something outside of that. So for this movie, it was the story of a tracker and an FBI agent who team up to solve the murder of this native girl on a reserve, and find out how... Sorry, there's just stuff in the way. Find out how she was killed and who by. So because he's a tracker, he has no real ties with the law other than this FBI agent asking him to help her out on this investigation, because it seems at every turn things get tougher for her, including trying to find out who committed the actual crime, until they are finally able to get onto the rigs that these guys are working on that have come into the town. I'm not really sure whether they were some sort of miners or something. But anyhow, they're working on these rigs. I think they might have said their job at some point in the movie, but some of them work security, and the others were actual workers that did the actual dirty work, I guess. Anyhow, we find out later on in the film that it was actually them that ended up killing her and her boyfriend. Her boyfriend was around the same age as Jeremy Renner's character in the movie, and she was 18 or 19, I think. So there was quite a big age difference between them, but she was obviously indigenous and he was white, so it shows the scene where they break in or they come into the cabin, I guess, that he's in, because he bunks with a couple of the other guys, and they pull the dividing wall open and then proceed to ask if they can see or ask what they've been up to, especially one of the guys, and ask if he can take a little peek, and then they end up beating up the other guy that they work with and then raping the girl that he's with. Luckily, he's able to get up and get the one guy off of her and tells her to run, so she makes a run for it. Unfortunately, she dies in the snow 6 miles away from the actual site. Because I guess when you run that long in the cold, especially in bare feet, I didn't know this, but I guess your lungs can fill up with the moisture from your lungs can freeze, and then eventually your lungs just start to burst, basically, and then you're left choking on your own fluids and blood, and then you eventually die. So basically, Jeremy Renner's character is hunting for mountain lions around the area, because they've been killing the livestock, I think, is basically his job until he finds her body, and they have to bring in the FBI to do this investigation. And when they end up finding out that it was the people that worked on this site, Jeremy Renner has been told by the father of the girl to kill them all, because 3 years ago his daughter died in a very similar way. I'm not sure if all the things were similar, but she at least died somewhere out in the wilderness, after him and his wife decided that they were going to take some time to themselves because with 2 kids and the jobs that they worked, it was difficult to get time together. So they rent a hotel. She ends up having a party. Too many people show up, people who she doesn't know. And then I guess he is not really sure what happened after that because the mountain lions had torn apart her body so badly when they found her that the autopsy couldn't reveal enough information. So that was kind of a sad part in the movie for sure. And the very end scene where there's the big gunfight between the cops and the security guards at the work site. The FBI agent, played by Elizabeth Olsen, gets shot through the door. So that was kind of intense. And then Jeremy Renner is fortunately able to get there in the nick of time to get the other 2 guys that were about to kill her anyway. And then he, at the very end of the movie, takes the guy who did most of the damage to the girl and the boyfriend in the trailer. He takes him up to the highest peak of the mountain and lets him run barefoot through the snow like the girl had to at the beginning of the movie. Because it does show her running through the snow at one point in time. I guess right at the beginning of the movie, so that was kind of like a serious plot point for this movie because she was running away from something, we just weren't sure what. So I guess I don't really know if there was much else. Oh no, I guess the brother, her brother, the girl that dies in this movie, kind of gets his life turned around. He ends up getting into drugs. I guess that's kind of like a, I don't want to say stereotype. I guess maybe this is based on a true story, this movie, that might have actually been somehow what happened. But I guess maybe being in such a small community, you kind of are surrounded by what everybody else is doing. So if you're around that age group, you're obviously going to get into whatever they get into, right? Because it kind of seems more like you're able to make your own choices in a smaller community, I guess, and nobody has control over it. Anyway, her brother ends up finding out through the FBI agent and Jeremy Renner's character because he tells the brother that he found her dead, and he wanted her to stay away from the workers, obviously, on the site, and she, I guess, didn't want to listen to him because she was in love with the one guy that was working there, and he seemed to be the only level-headed one, unfortunately, and they killed him too. So none of the workers that were on the site end up making it out of this movie. They either die by their own stupidity or get killed by Jeremy Renner, basically. Yeah, you kind of get really uneasy feelings from them, even when they are on the site with them, and then they kind of draw their weapons at first, and then the one guy says, "Hey, you in there?" The FBI agent is standing right outside the door, and then you hear the gunshot, and she just goes flying back. And yeah, that part made me jump because I wasn't expecting it, and I spilled a bit of my drink, so. Anyway. Yeah, I would definitely give this movie a 10 out of 10, just based on the chemistry alone between Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen. They did a fantastic job in this movie. I mean, I do like both of them as actors, and there were actually quite a few people from the... Yes, I've seen the Twilight series, so there were actually quite a few people from the Twilight series in this movie. My sister actually picked up on that, but there were quite a few from the Twilight series in this movie. I guess being that it was on a reserve, they needed the native actors, right? So that makes sense. Anyhow, yeah, I would give this movie a 10. Did I say 10 out of 10? I hope I did. I believe I did. Yeah, there wasn't anything about this movie that I didn't like, and I always like the movies that are based on the true stories because they make for a more interesting film. And this movie always kept you in suspense as far as I was concerned. And I believe that is all I have to say for this film. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe what you thought of this. Please like, comment, and share. Or please like, share, and subscribe. Jeez, I can't get my words right. And comment down below what your thoughts were on this movie. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye for now.